traveled into the high plateaus of Dovrefjell National Park, a remote wilderness in the heart of Norway. Our goal was simple: to find and photograph one of Europe's last Ice Age survivors, the Musk ox. The first step is always to find them, and that's not as easy as it sounds. Even though they are huge animals, from a distance they blend perfectly into the landscape. As we searched, my favorite golden hour was approaching, and we hoped to find them before the sun disappeared behind the mountains. Actually, here, from a distance, every dark rock looks like a musk ox. But then a big rock suddenly started to move, the first musk ox, standing alone against the golden tundra. Moments later, more shapes appeared, a herd slowly walking through the evening light, surrounded by the colors of autumn. The tundra in autumn burns with beautiful shades of orange, rust and deep brown. We positioned ourselves in backlight to capture those magical golden moments, watching quietly from a safe distance. Backlight turns them into living silhouettes, a rhythm of fur and light. Sometimes that's all a story needs: a shape, a glow, and silence. As the sun slipped behind the peaks, gold mixed with blue, warm light met cold shadow. The wind softened and the tundra grew quiet, as if the whole landscape was holding its breath. And then a young calf stood in this perfect light. I was simply hypnotized by this encounter and the evening glow. Its small silhouette in the fading light was the essence of this amazing evening. Over the next days we returned again and again, and every encounter revealed something different. That day the sky was clear and empty, bright, cloudless and flat, mostly even without a single cloud to soften the light. Not ideal for photography, but a good chance to observe the Musk oxen and simply watch how they behave. Harsh sunlight can be tricky. It flattens the landscape, washes out color, and creates dark shadows that hide detail. So instead of chasing light, we slow down. We watch the herd resting, observing their calm movements and interactions. In moments like this, photography becomes more than taking pictures. It's about learning how these animals live, move, and respond to the world around them. Even though it was autumn, the day was hot. This bull decided to cool down in a small stream. And this cow broke into a playful run. A short, funny burst of energy that reminded me how expressive and fast these animals can be. It was mating season, the time when bulls fight for dominance. This bull seemed to have already won, following a cow step by step, guarding his harem, ready to face any rival. As the sun slowly lowered, the light began to soften. Bit by bit, the harshness fading into warmth. We moved into backlight to capture the atmosphere and this beautiful female, letting the warm glow trace her outline against the tundra, and the golden autumn leaves to warm the scenery. These cows seemed to enjoy the lowering sunlight as much as we did. And another golden hour, another day turning full circle in the same rhythm the Musk oxen live by. When the sun finally hid behind the mountains, we film in the gentle blue-gold light, cows and calves glowing softly against the tundra. I never get enough of watching these majestic creatures. They wear the longest hair of any mammal. Beneath that shaggy coat lies kivet, a fine underwool 8 times warmer than sheep's wool. Together, those layers protect them through storms and the long dark winter. Calves always stay close to their mothers, protected within the herd. They are born in late spring, already strong enough to stand within an hour, but they depend on their mothers through the first winter. Sometimes they play with each other, short runs, head bumps, or little jumps that break the calm rhythm of the herd. Another amazing day in the tundra, and those are some selected photos. Weather in Dovrefjell changes fast. Clear skies one moment, fog and rain the next. For photographers, that's both a challenge and a gift. That morning began with strong sun again, a photographer's nightmare. The Musk oxen stood still on the slopes, breathing heavily in the heat. This bull followed a female closely, never letting her out of sight. In that sharp light, heat shimmer waved above the tundra, distorting shapes in the distance. Even the best encounter can turn into the worst photo when the heat shimmers like that and autofocus starts to drift. So we simply watched. As you can see here, you can recognize males and females by their horns. Cows have slimmer horns with a patch of white fur between them on the forehead. Bulls carry broader, heavier horns. In older males, the hair between the horns disappears, forming a thick horn boss, a solid shield used in clashes during the rut. Then, finally, the weather began to turn. A breeze came first, cool, steady, and the first clouds appeared on the horizon. The light softened and the whole landscape changed its tone. For a wildlife photographer, that's the moment to breathe again. Colors come back, shapes return, and every detail starts to matter. They move slowly through the grass, grazing, resting, chewing for hours, the steady rhythm of the tundra life. This bull, still wearing white hairs between his horns, rested quietly. As the temperature dropped, the herd walked straight towards the view I dreamed of. Musk Oxen against Snøhetta, the highest peak of Dovrefjell. The light shifted every few seconds, painting the slopes in golden shadow. And then, as it often happens here, the weather changed again. Dark clouds gathered over the plateau, the wind picked up, and rain swept across the tundra in the distance. Within minutes, the whole landscape transformed, wide, dramatic, alive. The kind of weather I love the most. Two musk oxen stood on the ridge. The bull still didn't leave the female, staying close beside her. And, lucky me, they stood exactly where I had framed the shot, perfectly aligned with the scene I had imagined. Behind them, the rain moved slowly across the valley, turning the landscape into a moving painting of light and shadow. And then, as quickly as it came, the storm passed. The sky opened for a few brief minutes, and a last ray of sunlight broke through, lighting the tundra in gold. The musk oxen stood there beneath Snøhetta, a herd in their element, framed by mountains and sky. When photographing wildlife, I always try to show them in their environment, the landscape they belong to, the space that defines their life. A tiny herd under a vast landscape. That's how I always want to remember them. A perfect evening, and these frames tell it better than words ever could. We climb higher into the mountains toward the slope beneath Snøhetta. The air grew thinner, the wind sharper, and the tundra turned to rock and lichen. Up here, the land feels exposed, open to every gust and cloud, stripped to its essentials. But this remoteness, this raw wilderness, is exactly what I love the most. Among the tundra colors, a quick flash of movement caught my eye. A Eurasian Dotterel, small, elegant, and always on the move, perfectly at home among the rocks and moss. Its golden pattern shimmered in the wind, blending perfectly with the tones of the mountain. I tried to film it, but with that wind and no tripod, most of the time it ran faster than my autofocus could think. Just see for yourself. The wind up here never really stops, it just changes tone. Even standing still, everything moves, grass, fur, clouds. And through that constant motion, the Musk oxen keep their calm rhythm, unbothered by the elements. This pair of calves blended perfectly into the mountain colors, like a small pile of grass, barely moving, chewing quietly in this wide, empty landscape. Two little furballs. I just love these cuties. As the evening closed in, the temperature dropped again. The herd moved slowly through the rocks, their shapes blending with the last colors of the day, and the wind flowing through their long hair. A quiet, freezing evening in the Highlands, and one more reminder that life here doesn't resist the weather, it moves with it. Our time in Dovrefjell had already been rewarding. Days of light, wind, and silence shared with the Musk oxen. But on our final evening, the sky still had one last surprise. As the clouds cleared, a golden full moon rose above the plateau. I knew that photographing a musk ox under the full moon was close to impossible. But sometimes the tundra gives you more than you expect. And there were. And just when we thought the night was over, the sky came alive. The northern lights danced above Dovrefjell.